Hello and welcome. Welcome, my name's Edward Pike. It's a pleasure to have you here. I'm a spiritual life coach and the creator of the Divine Alignment, which is a pathway and a map for coaches, creatives and healers to come home to their divinity. So in this first video of this new series of short and sweet insights and practices of the Divine Alignment, I was really guided as I was navigating through this beautiful nature, which is really a 5-minute walk from my house here in Crete. I was guided first to a dead chicken. And my first reaction was, why am I here? Of course, what is this dead chicken? And this is definitely not the right place to be doing the filming. But what it really moved in me was what I want to speak to first today, which is the essence of the death and rebirth that we're constantly going through. I know for myself, for my clients, people that I'm in touch with, there's so much change right now, so much transformation. And it can really feel at times like a death of the ego perhaps, a death of underdeveloped parts of us, a death of immature aspects of us, outdated, old, ancient, however you want to name them, things that are no longer serving us, let's say. So I want to speak to that a bit today, about the death and rebirth, which you could reframe, if it's easier for you, as simply transitions and changes and shedding things as we're going through that evolving spiral, upwards evolving, but also downwards into the body and into who we are, into our uniqueness. You could reframe it from death, rebirth to simply transitions, or shedding, however it works for you. But there are 3 things I want to touch on this today. The way I experience it, the way I see these changes, these deaths and rebirths, is that there's, if you look at it in a linear perspective, as if we're being called to like doorways, to portals, from when we step into a higher aspect of us, into the parts of us, our soul, our higher self, however you want to call it, that already is more light, for example, that it already is connected to all things. And in order to get there, we have to go through that doorway, which might be a shedding, it might be a healing, it might be a transforming, however it shows up for us. And there are 3 things that we need to be aware of in order to go through these changes, because that's really is the alignment process. We're aligning with our divinity, we're aligning with the part of us that is everything, that is light, that is joy, that is innocence. And of course there are things in us, in our bodies, in our minds, in our ways of being and living that are not in alignment with that. So in order to get there, we have to go through a process of shedding, of transforming. And there are 3 things to remember in this. The first is that remember that when you're being pulled into this alignment, this is something that every aspect of life is calling you to do, to align with your divine being. And so the first thing is you have to surrender to that process. It's going to be so much easier for you. Like Byron Katie says, remember that everything is for you. It just makes life a bit easier. Because when we don't do that and we resist moving into this alignment space, we just complicate things so much more for us. We just create even more chaos and more resistance and more ickiness in our lives and in our experiences. So the first thing is really surrender to that. Notice that it's drawing you and it wants to happen. The second is when you reach that point of shedding, of transforming, allowing it to happen. So very similar to the first one, how can you allow that process to happen? A bit like giving birth. So I've never given birth, I'm not an expert, but from my understanding, when you can really be in your body and connected to your breath and surrendering to the waves and the impulses and the contractions from the body, it makes that birth process a lot easier. So the same thing here. When you can breathe and allow the change to happen through you, you know that it's not even personal. It's an energy, it's a consciousness that wants to awaken through you, and in the process it sheds everything that is no longer needed. So the more you can allow that birth to happen through your breathing, the easier it's going to be for you. That's the second point. And my third point is that, which I've already touched on a little bit, is that this, where you're being drawn into this, let's call it this new reality, which is perhaps reality with a capital R, already exists. And it's already inside you. And it's already around you. So it's nothing new it's nothing new. It's something that as you step into it, it's more of a remembering. It's more of a reawakening, a rediscovering of what it truly is to be living in that reality. So just to remind you of these three things, the first is to surrender to being pulled by the alignment process, by that death and rebirth process. The second is to breathe and to allow it as much as possible through your body, through your container, as it realigns, as you go through that process. And the third is to remember that where you're headed already exists. And really it's a remembering. When you let go and shed all of these things that are in the way, you awaken deeper, you remember deeper, and you have this experience of life from that new and connected place. So now that we've kind of touched on that very briefly, I want to give you an experience of this with a very simple practice. I'm just going to invite you to close your eyes when you're ready and take some nice deep breaths. We'll take 3 breaths in through our nose and into our bellies, exhaling through the mouth. And one more time together, nice deep inhale into the belly and exhaling, letting go. And just find a way of breathing that feels really good to you, perhaps in and out through your nose, but just deepening your breath, finding pleasure in your breath. And I want to invite you to find in your body, in your being, this reality, this energy, this consciousness that you're being drawn towards, that already exists inside you. So just your intention will be enough to feel it somewhere in your being. And just notice where you feel drawn to. It could be your stomach, your heart, it could be anywhere. And start to really focus there. You might also feel a bit of pulsing, vibration, heat. However, this energy wants to draw your attention is perfect. And if you don't know, that's fine. Just pick somewhere that feels most obvious to you right now. And as you're breathing into that area, just see it, sense it, know it, expanding this energy. It could be a light of whatever color feels right to you, is right to you, or actually that comes to you. It could be a simple heat or vibration. But as you're breathing, allowing it to expand gently, to grow, filling your cells, filling your body, filling your energy field, your presence. This future, in inverted commas, energy, which already exists and always already is here. It's just wanting to be born, for you to shed what you need to shed in order to remember it, to experience it, to live it. So allow this energy to fill your body and really taste it, have an experience of it, enjoy it. Feel yourself be enveloped by it, nurtured by it. Really taste the essence. Maybe there's a color, maybe there's a texture. Maybe there's a temperature. Maybe there's a certain quality to this energy that feels really good. And then just allow this to also give you a word, one word, to symbolize this energy, this consciousness. Freedom, for example, or bliss, or whatever it is. Love. Allow that word to just pop into your awareness, into your mind's eye, into your knowing. And you can come back to this word whenever you need to. And then just slowly opening your eyes and coming back. So this energy is really a medicine. I would call it a medicine, an awakening medicine. And the way that I like to use this is I am. So I am, for example, if your word was freedom, I am freedom. Okay, and that's something to feel into, to allow, to guide you throughout your life. This energy is what's wanting to be born. So in order for that to happen, as we said, you have to align with that process and allow the change, the shedding that needs to happen on its own, with as much joy, as much ease, as much grace as you can, knowing that it's also at times going to be very messy, and that's okay. Chaos, mess, confusion, it's all part of the process, and that's all very welcome if that needs to happen. So just remember to stay grounded, stay connected to your breathing as you're going through this process, and really keep connecting to this I am, to this medicine, because it will reveal all the areas that you need to shed, you need to let go in order to come home to the I am, to embody it at a deeper level than ever before. Thank you so much for showing up today. Thank you for watching. If you want to go deeper into your journey of alignment and into your I am, then I really invite you to book a consultation with myself. You can book some time on my website. You can go to the divinealignment.be and book a free 20-minute consultation. And you can also go straight and book an hour session, which will really take time to go deeper into this, to get a sense of where you are, and to support you in this transformation, in this shedding process, to help you come home and embody your most beautiful potential. So that's it from me today. Thank you for being here, thank you for showing up, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.